Welcome back to Vchannel. VF3 is certainly one of the most talked about, the hottest this year. And today we will be on hand and review, really as detailed as possible, a completely new segment, a new win for the Vietnamese automotive market. And we see that it's really been possible. Dream car for Vietnamese or not, at the current price, it's very pleasant, brothers. Only about 240 million battery rental, and 320 million for battery pack included. They are too cheap at the moment. We can't ask for it. Be perfected. And it's certainly going to have a lot of weakness, but I'm going to bring it up here and analyze it for you. With a view, it's the disadvantages that exist alongside the advantages, and how can we overcome those weaknesses at this price? And not with a prying eye, or comparing and demanding, because at a price of just 240 million, surely we can't ask for too much. As usual, we will come to a review. Super unmatched details about VF3 is from outer to inner, and the driving feeling. Over the course of my long experience for this car on all the roads, from urban to rural to highway, and brought this car. Its maximum limit is 100 kilometers per hour. At the first count, we will go to the Gentiles. Here's a view from the side of the car. We see that the car is very, very compact. At this size, it's a big advantage. Into narrow alleys, and it's actually very small alleys. In Ho Chi Minh City myself, I could turn my head in a very easy way. It's a big advantage that we've chosen this car because it was born for urban use. We'll compare it to the size. A typical car for a small size, popular in the current Vietnam market. We're going to have a length of 3.19 meters instead of 3.595 like in Kia Morning. It's a lot shorter, guys. However, in terms of width, we're going to have 1.679 instead of a 5'9" spread of that Morning Kia. In this view and this design, we see the car is a pretty good design. It's much better than Kia Morning. Size of wheels up to 16 inches. To reduce the cost of the tray, it's just a piece of plastic. It also looks relatively better compared to using an iron tray. Like taxi car, transportation car. Here we have a lot of solutions. The price of this plastic cladding is only about 600,000. We can easily buy it and attach it. He's got thousands here. Look at General. This car as a whole. It's a cute Dodge. It doesn't feel too small. Too many toys like Wuling. It's very different. From the outside view to the inside driving experience. And one more thing you're very interested in. With only 240 million, how do we get the casing? Is it too thin or not? So here we have the answer. The first, this is metal, not plastic. And here's the knock. I was quite surprised by the thickness of this shell. And this is the back door. It's also metal. And this is the back. Have you heard anything? It's very thick, brothers. I'm a little surprised by this. There are usually cheap cars like this. The cost savings from the thickness of the body of the shell is a pretty important point. Companies usually will cut down on the thickness of this shell. But here we have a very thick thickness. It must be confirmed that it's very thick, and even the roof. And here's the hood. Still used material is metal. It doesn't use materials. There's plastic on this roof. It's prone to falling leaves causing so they often use plastic. But here, we're still using metal. And through my experience, in the rain, this is the roof. The sound of the raindrops falling on it is small. It's not blistered. And now it's the closing sound. It's a pretty important criterion to judge. Shell frame hum. Have you felt the intensity of it? It's not metal, guys. Very sure. In this previous part, what we see is using materials. Resin of tissue do. Usually these angles are. The angle often occurs via most of the new cars I see today. The most detailed ones are these original ones. We use composite. But in the section above, it's now. VinFast also uses composite. The plastic material I found is quite thick. And this capful is also plastic. Looking at the whole thing, I judge. Is that this shell is good, guys. It's pretty thick. This door handle it feels pretty good to hold. But this is also plastic. It will be one of the AS. Helpful factor. Save the cost, we have the mirror is also plastic. Now let's talk about the minus, guys. First of all, outside of 7, this is the although minus. We see square design and vertical like this, it will fit perfectly with the shape of the car. But in return, it's a very narrow view, guys. And one point you'll see is the curvature of this glass. It's low. It should be our perspective. It's getting narrower, and it's getting narrower. This glass should be more curved. We'll widen the angle of raw more, but that. With these glasses, I see. compared to most other cars on the market. Then our point of view. It's just a little over half. It's pretty narrow. I hope it's the accessories company. You can change these glasses. It's more curved, where you can replace this mirror, but still keep this design. I have seen some brothers change the glass horizontal. In general, it doesn't fit the design. Overall, this car, we can't ask for power correction. We have quality, relative processing, and materials. You can adjust the angle very wide. Even turn it back on. This mirror is almost in the process of running. I keep it that way all the time. We rarely meet it because, especially the glass on the side of the seat has to be adjusted. But adjusting like this is quite difficult so that we can find the right angle. We adjust like this. Let's go back to a perspective like this. If you look at it, it doesn't fit us. Here adjusted. It's quite time consuming and inconvenient. And here's the actual view. It's very narrow. It's a design that I think is pretty good. A VinFast that they will extend. Glasses in the back. And I'm going to connect this whole part. Most new cars I see learn this design, instead of them coming here. This part is the honorable part. Here they extend long claws out the back. It makes the car feel a little better, and these cladding details are very thick. With this design, look at the car. It's strong. The next 7, we'll have a chrome array. Stretching, they keep the details as concepts. I like the paint material quite a bit. It feels thick, and it's shiny. Both brake lights sign on. Demi lights all use halogen lights. If you want, you can change the LED. It's also cheap. And this is the clucking sound behind. I'm sure the Ben brothers are gentle. We'll have a very, very small trunk like this. It's like nothing. You guys get a few little tools. At the bottom, this is the bearing. So this design, we see it rising higher. Compared to the floor, it's pretty much up to about 20 centimeters. Expand the space. Then we'll easily get something like this. And if you want to send it, it's easy. I push it here and lift it up. It's easy. We'll have a luggage compartment if one hand only goes 2. But the downside of the back seat is that it's a straight seat. Many of you are also waiting. The solution is to split these chairs. They can carry people and they can carry reasons like this. We only have one option. One is luggage and the other is also people. Lucky that we have to back sensors. There is no reverse camera, but we also have a market. It only costs $2 million more. We'll be able to upgrade to a genuine reverse camera. Here we'll have a little stylized piece, but it's also sealed here. It's not the wind. It's a lot of cake, but in practice, you will see that it splashed a lot because this is where it bends in. So he's shooting a lot up here. Then you can add a fender here. And the one detail that's also commendable, we also have a fish fin antenna. Rather than using a beard antenna, it's like cheap cars. Here's a direct view of the car. We also have a chrome strip that recognizes and those V-shaped logos. The whole front is sealed. The car's radiator is not in use. Most electric cars are so much. We'll have headlights. Halogen hole. This part is also plastic. However, I find that this in terms of lighting efficiency, although it has a converging lens, we're going to get a pretty sharp light like this. But what about the power of the lights? I see it is not high. Relative level, and if you want, you can. Higher power lamp addition and LED lamp replacement. The front, it looks pretty good and special. Square design like this. Look at the car. This capo is always screwed shut. We can't open it. So, you want to. It might cost a little more money to get it up. This capful has been on it, especially in the. This front compartment is very empty. It's obviously possible to add a clump. Let's put stuff in front of us. Here, we'll have a glass washer cap. Use key 13 to open this snail. And when you open it, the entire engine room is ready. There's a lot of room, guys. It's absolutely that we can use it. This is also a luggage compartment. It's also very wide. Now there are also some parties. They've produced the case for VF3. Then this is the winning shackle. This is ABS. This is the winder. This is a winning oil lighter. It's very simple down here, guys. We only have one compressor for the air conditioning system. And this is battery use the brand Animate 12 volts 30 to AM pay hours. And this is a fan-powered radiator. It's very simple. In this corner, we can also see the steering wheel. We are also equipped with engine block HA. Some cars, they've also cut down on this engine shield. That for this car is still equipped. Even if it's plastic, it will cover it. The sand rocks it splashes in, but especially the red rocks it splashes on. Red soil causes rust. So here we are equipped, and it's related to wipers. A very disturbing point is the relay. The wiper is located in the passenger compartment. That sounds very clear. Actually, I think it would bother us a lot, piling all the time. I should have come out now to find a solution. Move the relay. This is the squeaking sound of the wiper relay. Some details. This product is also coated with lightning-proof silicone. Why do they paint color? This gold is to cover the black glue. See this black tree? And the parts that don't have glue. Lightning protection. They won't have paint. Paint is to cover the black. It should have been painted. Here, make it complete. This porous spray looks so unaesthetic. Then this is the bearing frame. It's pretty easy, guys. You're not that thick. Just enough to use Here we'll have a light jack. If it wants light, it's simple. Open jack, raw, and instead, here's the light angle. Here's the leg to tie in. To forks here. We have a fuse case here. And here's the plastic part of the front. You see the plastic. Casting precision is very high quality. Often the details that this curved face, they'll do so bad quality, but it's beautiful in this car. The quality is always there. Another point of note is the roof rack. To get the roof up, it's a little weak. If you need to carry something heavy on the roof, well, we need more reinforcement. And if it is original, it is relatively. We're going to go to inside, guys. The first is the feeling of sitting in this chair. Well, because of the size of the car, it's quite modest. So this chair, it's relative. Can you use it? To be comfortable, I really don't. Use the word comfortable for this car, especially this chair. One problem I see is that it's a bit steep. It's a little sloping backwards. This backrest, although it's also designed to be hugged. People but that. This part is empty. Really, through my experience and a lot of people, if we sit for a long time, it's going to get tired of this part. It's a lot if it is not held up. The solution is that we can buy some more accessories, like pillow. It's holding up, you see. We're sitting like this. This part is empty. At this point, our backs have to go. In fact, I use it. It's hard to find a position where it supports your back. It feels really comfortable. Generally speaking, the design of this chair is what we look at outside. It's pretty good, according to the New Life design. But if you sit in, you will see that when you go a long way, about 1.5 miles, our backs will feel tired for sure. I don't understand why the design is a little steep. We're sitting like this. And the next cons is this steering wheel. It can't be adjusted high and low, although if it's equipped mechanical correction. But it's not equipped with mechanical correction, completely fixed, and now my sitting position would be like this. Brothers, the steering wheel, it's quite high. The hand I'm going to put is this high. It's a little tired in the long distance. I'll lower the steering wheel. Let me have a handle like this. Then, my hand is not comfortable right now. Normally, hold it on the thigh like this. And this is the experience framework. And it's almost, there's no brothers to share, so you know. Through the process of experience, the most detailed part of this car, I felt it very clearly, my brothers. And this detail is, it's almost impossible for us to modify. It is only a matter of cost savings. So they cut down on that. As much detail as possible. They cut it very high and hold it like this. I feel very high in any position. And this chair we can only adjust back and forth, backrest. We can't adjust the high raw seat pump. Should be the position we're in with the steering wheel. I really don't think it's okay. I will definitely find another solution. One is I'll buy more milkshakes for it. This chair is up. It's about this high. Or a more compact solution is we're going to buy pillows. Sit up a little bit. This position is comfortable for me. That's why we drive like this. It is also the most pleasant to hold like this. Is to go that long way. We're going a long way. In fact, we can hold it sharp in this pose. And we'll definitely change it. Hold a hand like this. Or hold it like this. And reality. This seat is too low compared to this very tall steering wheel. And it's completely uncorrectable. But come to the point of praise. This is a very commendable. It's very, very commendable. Beside the design. Like Mercedes cars, it will be very convenient for us to shift the gear back and forth on the brakes, electronic handlebars. We have electronic handbrakes too. Apart from convenience, we're going to get a space here. To be liberated, we're not going to need a handbrake here. We don't need to have the shift right here. It's very empty. So we look. It feels quite open. But back to a minus point. It's that we don't have a pedestal. Obviously, they can actually design in the hands of the arm holder. But if you don't, I'm also looking forward to the company's solution. The third party. We're going to go to this part of the control center. The button here, it's all plastic, guys. Plastic paint alone looks relatively cheap. It can't make you feel special. However, there is also a fake skin. It looks relatively fun, and especially as you can see. It's a very good plastic material, guys. It's thick. You hear the beat? It's very thick. This material will be quite durable over time. It's been stuck like this all the time. And here's a weakness, guys. We'll have a button right on top of this console. And this is a design. This is very rare in most cars on the market, but this is a design that makes me feel bad. Guys, if it's designed on the door, we just use one for it. To fingers to hook like this. It will be very convenient to control. This hand we control the steering, here we hook to control the glass. But here we have to deal with hands like this. This position is very inconvenient. Especially wanting to adjust glasses at the same time would be very difficult. These two buttons are always off. They could have moved these two buttons closer together. And both of these glasses need to be held. There is no auto. That's fine. But the two we'll adjust the glasses one by one. With two glasses, it's very difficult. Point is not reasonable. We also have a hazard button through the lock unbox button. I am extremely satisfied with this cold. It's cold, it's deep, it's fast. Hard is also due. This cold system, it's the only role that it plays is to cool the chamber. Passengers only. It's not related to battery heat like other VinFast cars. What it's all about is it's very cool for us. It's very pleasant. However, the problem will be the temperature of the battery. We'll analyze it later. This is a pretty commendable point for VinFast. It's more about always that we have a very large touchscreen, up to 10 inches. You are very sensitive, you see, brothers. It's very responsive. It's not like cheap cars. We will have a anti-glare screen. It's easy to see and it's plastic. Looks good too. Then we'll have all the information up here. Full speed, number, have battery status. Even the battery temperature is shown here. We'll change the driving mode. Eco mode and no-mo mode are not available. Sport mode, we also have to camp mode. We can turn the camera back on, but right now, this car does not have a reverse camera. Bluetooth connection to the phone at the present time. According to the company, will update more soon. Apple CarPlay and Android but not Auto. Yet. If you want to lead, you have to phone accessories. Put it like this. Guide of the temporary alternative. If this picture is equipped, Apple CarPlay Android receiver to guide it. It's okay, guys. It's very sensitive. The next point I want to make is, the speed will be displayed here. Instead of having a screen, show the speed here. This is a very inconvenient point. Our eyes instead of glancing down here. Like cars, normally we have to look over here. The distance it will be further. It feels more inconvenient. A lot. The alternative is also very cheap, guys. You can buy hack-up display. The squinting screen. It's cheap. It's about 300,000. I also did a clip review. I am very satisfied. And as there will be, speed parameters will be displayed directly on the glass. It's a lot of convenience instead of looking down at the speed. Next are the joysticks here. It's almost impossible to hear. It doesn't make us feel. There are hiccups that it hiccups. And the plastic material here looks like it. It's not beautiful. We also have a closet. But instead they're sloping up so it stays here. This one will be very easy to fall off. It's tilted against you instead of sloping up there to keep it. It's sloped upside down. This is the direction to pour out, but the niches here are too deep. We make us lean forward too much. It was too big, but it should have been. It can be designed backward, so it's more hands-free. If you sit in this position, it's almost completely hidden. It should have been around here, but it's too deep ahead. Here, a point where I find it necessary to design not long ahead. Fortunately, in front of you, we're going to have a Galaxy USB. The charging speed is quite fast. This boot is small, brothers. This is the key of VinFast VF3. It's a pretty strange key, guys. There is a key that is used to install the door, and here's a key. You have to plug it in to start the car. Look, it's inconvenient, guys. It should be like a new car. We just need to get in the car. Bring this key, and you can start the car. No need to plug in. So here, we have to plug into this box. You can start the car. The next one we will have. It's a pretty small mirror, guys. Even the bar above is plastic. They cut whatever they can afford. This mirror, I see, here has a narrow base and a minus for the glass in the back. Normally, the car doesn't have a windshield. It's because the windshield is sloping. When it rains, the wind will blow. Then it's reasonable not to have a rain fan. And for this car, the glass behind it stands like without a rain shield. Really is. In my actual rainy days, the glass can barely see anything. You always have to wait for a second solution. The sun is here. It's pretty thick, but without a mirror. About the space of the head relative to the ceiling. You guys are so wide. Even people who are 8 meters tall, it will also be very large. It's a lot more fake. Help us to have a sense of space. It's quite open. However, it's going to make the center of gravity of the car go high. It makes the car worse. If it goes lower, the car will be a little stronger. But VinFast decided to choose. Give us a sense of openness instead of having the lower center of gravity. This part is just like other cars. Rubber parts are pretty good, guys. It's very thick, and even the pillars. It's also very thick. I appreciate the plastic details here. We'll have a very clear view. Because of this pillar, it's standing up. It's designed to stand, not to be slanted. There will be very few blind spots. Another commendable point. That's the rear view mirror. It's not mounted on a pole. Installed at the bottom of the door. So, we've got one more piece of light here. Next, we'll go to the opening handle. It's all plastic. It's all black plastic. This is a point worth mentioning. Brothers. This part is always defiled. It doesn't have a long plastic wrap in the back here. So that's the position where we put our hands on the door. It will be stuck. We can't find a position to put our hands on the door. Be comfortable. It gets a lot of stress. It should have been possible. Long plastic out the back. Everywhere we go, we have to put it down. This part is also quite small. We'll have a small container. Here, we'll also have a water tank just right. Air conditioning door. This part is plastic. Use glossy plastic material with a different color. The details make me feel beautiful. It's shiny and plastic. It's good, so guys. We can go up and down into directions. Go back and forth, but you can't lock it. It's completely unscrewed. Up here, we'll have lights. It's also halogen. And then here, we'll have two recesses for water bottles. With a completely empty saddle. It's here. The posture of our feet is very pleasant, brothers. It's full of very comfortable legs. Gas gear are very fine, very smooth. However, braking gear is a huge weakness of this car. And a lot of brothers complain that it's not smooth. Brothers, it's not smooth. When I just won, this one almost doesn't work. But just a little bit more. It affects so much. Through the roundabout or into traffic jams. It's very difficult to get this car to brake smoothly. We win from the beginning and it doesn't affect. When it's affect too much. This is a huge cons for this brake gear. So this ride, you see? Some brothers go or get stuffed. One more note, guys, is that it's a leg. If you are made of plastic, I will analyze it as usual. You see, our gas gear, impact on it very gently right hip. It doesn't matter. It just goes normal. But if unfortunately, we're in these urgent situations, such as red light, we see it in the rearview mirror. There's a car out of the brakes coming at us. We need to accelerate very quickly to get out of that dangerous situation. Or the car in front of it loses its brakes. Lost the wheel. It's coming. We need to get back really fast. Or as in the case of mountains that have avalanches. In those cases, actually, it also rarely happens. But before those situations, we need to kick the gas gear so fast to rush forward or back quickly. Cycling is fast. It's really strong with these plastic gas gear, especially for a long time. If it's brittle, there's a risk it'll break. Normally gentle with it is not so. But before those situations, we are in urgent need to save it. There is a risk of not being able to save us. I will definitely replace this plastic gear with a steel gear. So there's no risk. There is no one on the side of the door. Any button at all. If you wanna. Stainless steel raw has a device. It's on. It hasn't been unlocked. I'll turn it on again. Then it can be unlocked. With this two-door car, it's going to be like this, guys. We'll have a party here. Pick up and push closer to get in. From the beginning, we can't adjust. It's also a little inconvenient. This is the space in the back, guys. The first is that this floor is flat. Absolutely. It's flat, not like that other car. Our feet will be more comfortable, especially this space. It's now quite narrow. His knee almost touched the front, and so it's comfortable to go long distances. Not in the back seat. You guys have enough for now. There's a design here, or Scout. Come in here. We get a few more centimeters for the knee. And especially, we're sitting right on the wheel. It would be shocking, especially with this car as myself. As many of you have judged, the most powerful system is the back. It's very hard against normal vibrations. We'll feel it quite clearly in the car. It'll be quite shaky and intoxicating. Cars are oscillators. As we go through the deceleration ledges, it hit the car a lot. One solution is that you'll replace the fork system. As we see here, the back fork is equipped with XO and the number of twists is quite small. Instead of being like some other cars, they're going to equip to pieces. One segment is a little twist, and one segment is a lot of twist. It will be compatible. If you like many roads, here it is. Very few twists. And the second one is the shock absorber. This is an air hose, guys. It doesn't use oil, so I'm sure the efficiency will be low. And this chair. It's not that wide, brothers. This is the wheel annealing part. It's protruding quite a lot. It encroaches on us quite a lot. To people sitting in the back, they will sit very close together, and our headrest can't be adjusted. It's not comfortable, guys. It's also quite standing, especially the lower back here. We're empty. We're going to have back fatigue. Material of cloth with heat. And it's going to be quite smelly as well as. If you want to be more comfortable, it can be. Look at general. The space behind. I don't appreciate it. Just sit with the adults, guys. We only carry children with luggage. We also have a courier in the back. About the light of the head compared to the ceiling. It's very wide. It's a bit unfortunate in the backspace. If only we could extend it a little more. I think it would make a lot more sense. And me, I wish this chair could recline more. Sitting like this for 100 kilometers. I see the whole problem. That's right. This car is for inner city travel. It's a point that you can see. Front side seat. We can sit in the back. Use this to adjust it. Not the driver's seat, guys. Can't be adjusted. The priority is, we're going to go this way. You can't take the driver's seat with extra seat. I can fix my back like this. In this position, you can sleep comfortably. I fell so deep. This charging cap is equal to. It is equipped with DC as well as AC charging. Soon we'll be able to buy a charger at home. For $4 million only. And the actual charging time depends greatly on the battery temperature. If our battery temperature stays below 39 degrees, then we can charge it at 25 kilowatts. But if it's higher, it charges the ambient temperature and the way we run. It greatly affects the charging speed. 60 kilometers per hour. The battery temperature will help it rise. The battery temperature will rise where we're staying quickly. At about 80. 90 kilometers per hour. And it dissipates heat from the wind as our cars move. So there's a tip. When we get close to charging, we're going at just the right speed. 60 miles per hour is beautiful. There was a heat sink for the battery, and the battery doesn't get any hotter. Battery, it cools gradually. It's time to get to the charging station. If the battery is cooler, it will charge faster. So the high-speed thing is it makes the battery hot. Charging station pair. If there is no wind, it will charge very slowly. The engine block is here. You shackle it. It's out there. This is also a detail that may be affected. Into roads where mud and rocks are splashed. And down here we'll have the battery block. I touch the bottom of the battery. The battery temperature is 40 degrees, but we touch the bottom. Still see it normal at hips have hot brothers. So here's the bottom. This part is the part shielding the battery block from the rock sludge it's splashing in. It's insulation. It's not a heat sink. It's only equipped with one airbag. There's no airbag in the driver's seat. It's a single airbag. We will now test the brightness of the light. Due to the yellow light, it is pretty good. The light path is very sharp in terms of just enough brightness. Is walking in an urban area Now, we're going to test one more paragraph. It's really dark. While at the near light, the part of opposite car will be lower, down against the glare of the opposite. And on the right side, you need to look at the margins. Then it will be far from raw, very humane Now that it's mixed, it's all far away. Millet Brothers. Now, we're going to do a speed test. This shift gear is really good, guys. It's convenient. The steering wheel is very light. It's easy to turn around in small alleys. And the steering wheel is also very good. Drive yourself. Now, I'm going to put to normal mode in 3, 2, 1. It's very fast. And this is brake. ABS braking system. It seems to work very well. And now we're going to go to the detailed experience. Feeling of driving. The first is the steering wheel. It's easy to hit with one finger. It's light. This is the lightest steering wheel I've ever driven. This car is short. The steering angle is also It should be something that rotates in the inner city. Turning around in the alley will be very convenient. But when we're going especially the highway, at over 80 kilometers per hour, we're going to have to focus more. It's because of this steering wheel. It's too light. It doesn't squeeze. Now, it's a little bit unsettling to go at high speed with a very light steering wheel like this. You see, it's light. And the other point is that it's the poker. The sound you see, it's a bad word, even if it's just a software issue. In case it flashes unevenly. I think the negative distance is good, guys. It is even very good in this price range. The negative distance is better than the A-Class competitors. Much like Kia Morning. It's a lot less likely than Kia Morning. And the sound of the trumpet. Car engine noise wanted. Surrounding sound insulation. And the ceiling good when it rains. There is no ceiling either. I hear too much rain. Like cheap cars. Look at the frame. The door cover and ceiling are quite thick. The next commendable point is the suspension. For me, the passengers in the current car are. They all feel that. This car's suspension is the first detail. Be careful when buying a car. This suspension is tough, guys. It's very slippery, and in particular, its rebound is very small. By the fork. Use. It's a gas hose, not an oil hose. Quell the oscillation. It keeps it a little. I'll give you a comparison with a scale. A's Tech, you can replace this fork in there. You see, this fork holds it back. Quell the oscillation. With air forks, do not use oil. The rebound is very low. We're currently on the road. The road is beautiful, but the vibration is constant. And when you go through the deceleration ledges, or through the bridges, the road is a little rough. The car we feel, it's a lot of shaking. The current suspension is to stick. This spring must be replaced. You see, this road is also the road. It's normal. It's not too bad. It's rocking all the time. Here you see that. Especially in the back seat. If you find in spring, that is both. A lot of twist and a little bit of twist. A lot of twist to increase the smoothness, and a little twist, so that the amplitude of the oscillation that XO oven is perfect. Just go down a normal road. It's a little rough. It's the car that's wobbling all the time. And the rebound snuff, the labor, it's terrible. It's on the sphere. It's oscillating all the time. That's the biggest weakness in this car. And even faster, we're going to be like this. Get the chair now. And even when we're gone, over this steep slope, the car is very light, comfortable always. The engine power, I feel comfortable. Even if I go up the hill, go up to the bridge, and you'll see that your hips are very light, and appreciate the power of this engine, as well as the weight of this car. It's light, so it's a very flexible car. We're running so fast, but one point is that it's got to be dealt with. This suspension, it's just shocking. There you see it. When you turn the corner, you see our car. It's cute even when it's hard. Speed up here. The speed is very convincing. But we need to focus a lot, because this steering wheel is so light. And another point is, our car won't have a steep departure here. I'll park on the bridge. That's where the car will go. This is the number D that is also missing. But if we turn it on, if you move slowly, when you enter number D, the car will cow slowly. It doesn't slide. And when you change lanes like this, even at speed quite as high as 70 kilometers, now, we can see that the car is still responding well. That's pretty good compared to competitors like Volume. I highly recommend FBA is much more. The air conditioning system of this car, I highly recommend it. It's cold, it's deep, it's not fast. Noisy either. Refrigeration it's only at the lowest level, but it's already quite cold. The space of this car is small, so even the back seat is cool. I am very satisfied with the gas. It's very smooth, but the brake pedal, that's a big criticized point, guys. Especially when we're on the east side of the road or through the roundabout. It's hard for the car smooth. Its braking range will not be evenly spread. The first part is almost not effect. And when it's time to effect it, effect a lot. Like I'm pedaling. Pedal slowly and slowly down doesn't effect. But when effect a lot like it's hard to get the car to brake smoothly. I found out it wasn't easy to brake smoothly. Halfway through the journey, it's the regenerative braking. Back to end first. This brake will be very smooth. There and didn't hear the engine howl. The journey it's all about, like other cars. Let D mode. Half the way through, it brake. They will win very badly. I hope you have a software update coming soon. The lock will fix this. Means that in addition to the normal disc brake in D mode, when we're halfway to brake, regenerative brake, it will intervene further. Brother, also notice that you'll hear the engine howl. That's when regenerative braking works. On the left it rises, but unfortunately, it's not smooth. It's a bit of a metal. And the ABS disc brake. Normally the car works well. And on the menu you see, we can't turn off the regenerative brake. It also can't be adjusted. Lightweight level of regenerative braking. This steering wheel, this horn button, it's heavy. It's very heavy, but you can see it's limited. Let the drivers suck the horn indiscriminately. On this wheel, we won't have any. Which joystick? Entertainment system volume. Then we'll have a button up here. And talk about our entertainment system. I think this car is just for me. If you want to be good, you must be good. And the bass is extremely weak. The treble is also extremely weak. There's only one solution. The explanation for the song is that it's relatively bright. And on this screen, we can't adjust the equalizer either to increase treble. Bass up, about the sound of the engine. If it rings in, we'll hear a howl. The engine is quite clear when it's accelerating. Although the tire sound insulation is door environmental sound insulation, but the engine we're going to hear a lot. It's pretty clear. As for the distance, the mixed road is about 200 kilometers during charging. The oscillation, it's not extinguished quickly, and it's almost just used springs. So our car is going to shake all the time, but it doesn't have the rebound. It holds the car back. It stills the oscillation. The wind's echoing as we go. The speed is so high. I heard a little wind in the middle. This rear view mirror, but there's not much. The next point needs, that's glued glass. The cheap car should be glass. It will always be hot inside. Now, we're going to do the test. Slalom zigzag. Even though the size of the car is small, its width is still larger. Morning should be the focus. It's pretty solid. It's better than the competition. Wuling Mini F so much. It's a little bit that we see that it's also biased. This car is quite stable. In fact, when you go on highway at 900 kilometers above, it's okay to change lanes now, guys. Now, we're going to learn a function of this screen. I'll swipe down. There will be installation here. Here we'll have Bluetooth. Here we'll have Wi-Fi. Eco mode and normal mode. The eco mode, the torque is slower. Women should choose this mode. We have a camping mode. The car won't run. It's just the entertainment system and the air conditioning. Customer care. Then we have a reverse camera, and now the car is zen. There is no reverse camera. The current price is about $2 million. Out of battery mileage percentage. We're expected to have the temperature up here as well. Then install it here, and we'll have a driving mode. Slow motion mode. Turn on this mode. When entering on D, the car will crawl slowly, just like gasoline auto cars. Number and turn this off. When entering the correct there is no movement. Traction mode when the car has a towing problem. Turn this mode on. The handlebars will be released. To avoid the event that our cars are being salvaged, you pull it off. The electronic brake is on, and this tire is damaged. It is currently turned off. At the bottom, we'll have a camera. Adjust the video tutorial sound. Parking art certificate. Here's this. Turn on the back sensor. The back sensor is available. If you are speeding, you will be alerted. Anti-theft alarm. When the car is locked, if the door is opened, it will give you a light or a buzzer or feedback. Automatic door lock unlocking according to the speed. At this speed, the door locks automatically. Automatically unlocks when the gearbox is switched to P. Drive car automatic door unlock this function. When we get back to P, the car door will automatically unlock. Auto chip nose safety function. That's pretty cool. When we're in the driver's seat, no seat belts. We are change the shift gear. Immediately it returns to P. There is no going back and forth. This is a review of VF3. The new win for the Vietnamese car market. Extremely hot at the moment. Thank you guys for following. If the clip is helpful, don't forget to like to support your friends. It was a great motivation to make the clip. And remember to subscribe my YouTube channel to watch the news and the technology knowledge. Next, hello, goodbye, and see you later.